March 8th every year is set aside as International Women's Day. It is a day that, of course, is meant to celebrate our women and everywhere just commemorate and point out the good things and the importance of women in everyday life. So it brings me to ask a question. Are we in Nigeria eligible to actually celebrate this? Because this is coming not very long after hundreds of girls were kidnapped in northern Nigeria. Do we actually qualify to celebrate this at this time? Anyways, that question is there for you to answer. But then I would like to ask you another question. Which woman in your life are you going to be celebrating today? Are you celebrating your mother? Are you celebrating your wife? Are you celebrating your girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend? Or you might just decide you want to celebrate your landlady today. Just make sure you're not owing rent. All right? Thank you so much for joining the show. It's Unplug, brought to you by every NG. My name is Victor, and it is always great to be here bringing you all the updates from across the world. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. And we have Dorathy on the top of our news today, and she has come out to express her solidarity with the Sussexes. And the Sussexes are, of course, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Dorathy can relate to the issues that we are beginning to understand now have been going on in the royal family. We'll be talking about that much later, but Dorathy has come to express solidarity and just to show that she can relate to what Meghan Markle is feeling, and of course Prince Harry, because she has also been there at some point in her life when she had to deal with issues behind closed doors. She had to deal with discrimination for one reason or the other, maybe people talking down on her because of her looks, because of her figure and all of that. So she can actually relate. She talked about how she could feel the fear in Prince Harry's voice, and it's really a lot to take in. Like I said before, we will be looking more into that much later on the show. But there you have it, Dorathy expressing solidarity. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk Kiddwaya, who turned another year over the weekend, and it was his birthday celebration here and there. Of course, last week we talked about the fact that he said he was going to have a meet and greet with fans and friends, and they were going to go somewhere. Well, his friends actually shut down an entire cinema, so that they could see a movie together and just have fun together. It was really good. Fans have a way of, BB Niger fans have a way of trying to outdo each other when it comes to celebrating their fave on their birthday. Well, Kiddwaya had a great time, really, and happy birthday once again to Kiddwaya. Now, let's talk something not very pleasant. For those of you who know Barry Jhay, Barry Jhay is an award-winning artist. He has won at the Headies before, and he is signed to a record label known as Kashy Entertainment. And the boss of this label is known as Kashy. Now, something really terrible happened in Ghana, and Barry Jhay has been arrested because Kashy committed suicide. He was said to have jumped down a balcony and he died. Now, what happened is that previously Barry Jhay posted a video of how his mouth was bloody, like somebody hit him, and he was like, it was Kashy beating him. He was like, see how this guy beats me and all of that. There was a reported fight, something happened, and just the very next day, this guy decided that he was going to jump off a balcony and kill himself. Now, Barry Jhay has been taken into police custody in connection to this particular death, because people are saying some chats have surfaced from places, and we're seeing people say that he didn't just commit suicide, that he was killed. So we're waiting for further investigations to be concluded, and we'll know what exactly happened. But Barry Jhay right now is in police custody. Okay, now let's move on from that. Let's talk Bolanle Ninolowo, or Nino B as he's fondly referred to sometimes. He came out to celebrate his daughter who just turned 15, and they shared pictures. He shared pictures of them and a cute video of her as well. And he called his daughter the next top supermodel. I mean, he is obviously celebrating or encouraging and supporting his daughter's dreams. I mean, really beautiful young girl, almost as tall as him. I remember one time that he talked about the fact that this girl is already getting taller than I am at such a young age. But it was really, really lovely to see father and daughter in, those lovely pictures. Okay, so happy birthday once again to the young lady. Okay, now let's talk Sam Clef. Sam Clef got himself into a bit of a mess over the weekend when he sexualized Thames, that is Nigerian singer Thames. If you follow closely on social media, you'd know that Thames sort of hides her backside in pictures. She never really turns. You only see the front of her face. So a lot of people always talk about it all the time, that why is Thames not turning? I mean, what is going on? Well, Barry Jhay went out, not Barry Jhay this time, Sam Clef went out of his way and was like, I'm looking forward to see Thames' backside. Who else? I'm waiting for it. Who else is waiting with me? Well, that did not go down well with Simi, and she retweeted that tweet and was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what the F is wrong with you? Why would you, say something like that? Well, Sam Clef decided he was not going to take that. He went all out, blasted Simi and called her a fake person, even did a video on Instagram, called her fake, said people don't know how fake you are, blah, blah, blah. Then he decided to bite from another unripe cherry when he mentioned Erica. Now he said Erica had sex on national TV and everybody was cool with it. So what was wrong with what he said? Stargirl was not happy at all. She came out and blasted him and was like, you open your dirty mouth and, say something about me. I don't even know you. Where did you come out from? And she was like, you are using me to trend, this and that. Well, Sam Clef has not responded to that, but eventually he deleted those tweets. He deleted all his tweets. Like, okay, one day tweets go load, as they say it on Twitter. All right. Anyway, from that, now let's talk Laide Bakare. Laide Bakare reminds me of Tonto DK, who some time ago was celebrating a Christian appointment, although that did not exactly go down very well eventually. But this time around, Laide Bakare is celebrating an Islamic appointment in an Islamic prayer ministry, and it was a whole big thing. There was a whole party and all of that went down during the weekend. So congratulations to Laide Bakare. All right. Now moving on, it is a great day today because the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, turns 64 years old today. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. There you have it. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is celebrating his birthday today, and we wish him a happy birthday and many happy returns. All right. Now, speaking of the Vice President, he and the President Muhammadu Buhari, received their inoculations on Saturday. That is the COVID-19 vaccine. And the federal government went further to reveal how they're going to be distributing these vaccines, to the rest of the Nigerian populace. They're going to be shipped to all the cities that have functional airports, first of all, from where they will now be moved out and transported in other trucks to other cities that do not have functional airports. So the federal government is just letting us know that they have plans in place to ensure that these vaccines get to where they need to be. All right, it's good that they're keeping us in the know. Transparency is very important. Now, speaking of transparency, something was revealed during the weekend. Sheikh Gumi has been meeting with some of these bandits in different forests here and there, and there was a major exposure where a video went viral on the internet where one of these bandits that was obviously speaking for the rest said that the government has been the one supplying them weapons. The government has been the one supplying them with their guns that they use. And he said something that actually makes a lot of sense. He said, we are just herdsmen. I mean, we don't know anything about guns or whatever. How do you even think we can get these things? We don't just get them. Of course, we have people who support us with these things, give us these things, and even teach us how to use them. And it is the government. Well, we've not heard any response whatsoever or counter response from the government, but that is what the herdsmen themselves said. We're still waiting. I am still waiting to hear what the government might have to say about those allegations. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk Chioma. Chioma, of course, has been in the news. Her reported breakup with Davido and all of that. Now, She seems to be teasing us because she posted a picture of some guy that I do not know, probably so many people do not know, a mystery man. And they were obviously, or it looked like they were on a date, and she posted his picture with some laugh emojis, and I'm like, oh wow, this is really becoming very interesting. Very interesting. We're still keeping an eye on those developments in the Chioma Davido situation. I'll keep you posted on whatever it is that happens. All right. Now let's talk Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze over the weekend was convicted of adultery in a court in Port Harcourt. He was also fined 5 million naira to be paid as damages to the man whose wife he got involved in adultery with. Now, the thing is, the woman in question is now his current wife, but the adultery took place while she was still the other man's wife. So he was sued and all of that. Well, Daddy Freeze responded not very long after that in a YouTube video on his channel, and he said that ruling took place without his presence and he's not going to accept it. He's going to go to the appeal court, and he trusts the judicial system and he's going to get the right judgments. And he just told his fans and everybody not to be worried, that nothing is going to happen, nobody's going to get anything. Like, okay, all right. As always, we'll let you know what happens eventually. All right. Ali Baba has also been in the news because recently people have been coming out to ask about his family situation, wondering if he got divorced from his wife. Now, the claim or the concern is that he did not spend the Christmas period and New Year period with his family. Ali Baba has come out to debunk all those divorce rumors and has said that, look, I am still together with my wife. There has been no divorce whatsoever. The reason I was not with my family Christmas and New Year is because I was in isolation. And you would remember that at the turn of the new year, he talked about how he suffered COVID-19 and had to be in isolation. So he just reminded everybody that that is what happened. That was the situation when I was still suffering COVID-19. So there you have it. Ali Baba is not divorced from his wife. Family is still together, intact. And Mehdi is calling for prayers from everybody, fans, friends, frenemies, enemies alike. He got involved in a home accident. He said there was a fire at his house and his leg actually got burned, quite badly burned. And he is currently in hospital trying to recover, and he's asking everybody to pray for him. Fans have already trooped under that post and are offering prayers for Mehdi. So you do the same if you love Mehdi. All right, now let's move to the foreign scene now, where in Austria, AstraZeneca inoculations have been suspended. A particular batch of AstraZeneca vaccinations have been suspended because a death has been reported after the use of the vaccine. And it's not just that death, but also sicknesses, about 1 or 2 have also been reported after the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine in Austria. That is a very serious situation, especially when you want to bring it down to our Nigerian existence, where we know that we have the AstraZeneca vaccine waiting to be shot in people's arms, and wondering, wow, what is going on? Are there some terrible side effects that we need to know? Is there a possibility that people might lose their lives? People are actually worried right now after hearing this particular news from Austria, but we hope that this is not going to be our fate in Nigeria. Okay, now the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle situation. There was this interview with Oprah Winfrey, and it was a complete bombshell because so much was exposed in that interview from the horse's mouth. It was not like somebody was saying that this and that happened, but they were speaking for themselves. You recall that some time ago they got stripped of their official palace duties or positions, and they just stepped back from everything that had to do with palace affairs to focus on their own personal businesses in entertainment and deals with some brands. It was a lot deeper than that. There is so much that I cannot give all the details here. But the main thing that is being looked at is the fact that there has been racism in Buckingham Palace against Meghan Markle. You would know that she has African American ancestry. If you think back to their wedding, there was a nod to her African American ancestry. There was this Black American choir and all of that. So people were thinking it was going to be a more inclusive monarchy because she was not completely British, but apparently that has not been the case all this while. She even spoke about the fact that there were concerns and conversations about how dark her son, Prince Archie, was going to be. That was when she was still pregnant. It's really tough to take, and it makes you wonder what is going on, in royalty. Racism, like I said, it's so much we cannot talk about all of it right here, but we'll keep you posted on what happens. All right, now let's talk sports, where Israel Adesanya, Nigeria's homeboy, has lost a UFC fight for the first time. Really hard to say, but that's what happened. He lost against Jan Blachowicz, and he was contesting for his light heavyweight title. He's still middleweight bantamweight champion, but he was not able to get it done. He did not lose emphatically, right? It was just points decision, and he was not able to pull through on points. He was edged slightly as the judges ruled in his opponent's favor. But trust Israel Adesanya, he's a Nigerian boy. We don't just go down like that. He's going to be back, and he's going to be back better. Okay, and still, finally on sports, Manchester United claimed bragging rights at the Manchester Derby yesterday as they defeated Manchester City by 2-0 right in City's backyard. So a lot of people did not expect that performance based on current form, but Man City had been on a 20-game winning streak, but that was halted by Manchester United yesterday, and the difference in points has been cut down to 11. So there's 10 games left to play. Maybe the EPL is still up for grabs. We'll see. That is all we have on Unplug for today. Thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here bringing you the updates and the news. And until next time, my name is Victor. Bye.